Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. This is the only show in the metro area that focuses on real estate and construction, business expansion, really anything related to Omaha becoming bigger, more vibrant, and more prosperous. Now, without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a legendary real estate deal maker in the flesh, Trenton Magid.
Most of that flesh is covered up, but thank you, Jeff.
And thank God for that. Hey, it's been a great week. Hope everyone is enjoying the autumn weather. A little unseasonably warm, but not too much. Good weekend on store. And I'd say without any further ado, we are going to launch straight into our news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They have been in the business for well north of 30 years under the astute leadership of Holly Schneidewin. The team over there really works with people who are thinking about buying a house and finds the best lending solution for them. One thing you need to know about Eagle Mortgage, they are not a bank. They are mortgage brokers, meaning that they can shop a variety of banks and match you with the best one for you. That's the way to do it, because buying a house, big deal. Most people only buy a handful of them in their entire lives, and it's expensive. So you want to work with Eagle Mortgage, get the pre-approval letter before you go out and search the market, and you'll be happy that you did. You can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com or in person at 114th in Davenport.
I've got a tagline for Holly. It's they shop for your mortgage until the prices drop.
We'll pass that on to her. Okay, let's get into our news of the week. And the first item, Creighton University is interested in acquiring additional rights of way in its campus area. So the planning board is going to be reviewing a petition to vacate Burt Street from 17th to 20th, along with 18th Street from coming south to an existing pedestrian bikeway that runs through the campus south of Burt Street. Now, this vacation is contingent on Creighton's acquisition of adjacent properties, and the city's been working with them to try and make this all work out. But this is the area where a great deal of activity is taking place. In that general vicinity, construction is about ready to go vertical on the new 4 to 5 story sophomore residence hall. To the north of that, we expect construction to go vertical soon on Creighton's new maintenance and storage facility. And then at the heart of where all of these street vacations would be taking place is the new baseball and softball practice facilities and apparently stadiums, because it appears that Creighton will be moving out of Charles Schwab Field, I think usually 23,000 of the 24,000 seats are empty for their games, so it's kind of a letdown when you go in. And then there are all sorts of rumors floating around. We have not been able to get specific information, but all sorts of rumors about some impressive other buildings in that area, some of which could be Creighton, some of which could be by developers or a team up between developers and Creighton. We're hearing all of that right now.
I think it's awesome. These are permanent vacations, ladies and gentlemen, which is a good thing.
Well, I had my microphone off there for a moment. I see. I know your play on words, but yeah, when you vacate a street like this, it obviously a long-term, possibly forever
But
deal.
Are they doing that to build on that road, or are they using it as like a walking space and connectivity space?
My guess is there could be more of an emphasis on walking and connectivity, but actually both, because I think they have a lot of plans in that area, and I would assume that a baseball stadium is more than just a square block. I mean, because you think about all of the room it takes, the field itself. I would think it would be more than a square block for a baseball, even a small on-campus college baseball stadium.
Has their attendance, has the student body increased in size that much?
I don't know if it's driven by that as much as it is driven by the university's desire to keep growing and developing and remain an outstanding national university. But when I see press releases from the university, it looks like it does keep growing, but it's not like you're seeing these obnoxious attendance increases in 1 year. It seems to me like it's more of a good, steady, healthy growth.
Well, just like on the macro sense, when it comes to Omaha population, we need to retain as well as recruit. And so whether it's a college or a business or whatever, or the Chamber of Commerce, they have to take care of what's here and keep them happy, which we're doing a great job with all the amenities and entertainment options and job opportunities and everything else. It's a fight for within the college universe and the competitiveness among markets.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, for cities competing with one another, it can be pretty cutthroat recruiting talent. And for colleges, it's probably worse because demographics show us that there are fewer 18-year-olds than there were several years ago. That number is getting lower and lower. And so a lot of colleges really have to fight for that. You're also seeing, this doesn't affect a school like Creighton, which is, so highly rated and so well funded and so well established. But a lot of those very small private colleges, the ones with maybe fewer than 2,000 students or fewer than 1,000 students, you're seeing a lot of those go under. And you're seeing a lot of them that from an external glance, you wonder, how has it not gone under?
Yeah, it's competitive.
It's definitely a competitive world out there. Well, hey, Charleston Homes is planning a residential subdivision named Indian Ridge, 204th and Ida. This will be north of Indian Creek Golf Club, west of Flanagan Lake. More evidence that the single-family housing construction boom that is underway in that arch between Elkhorn and Bennington shows no signs of letting up. And speaking of development in the Elkhorn area, Trenton, this is a sign of the times. Construction has gone vertical on a for-rent neighborhood. The whole entire neighborhood is for rent. It's called Aerie Blue Sage. Aerie spelled A-E-R-I-E, like the clothing store in the malls. Aerie Blue Sage. Construction is well underway. Eventually we'll have 327 market rate residences. Some of these will be standalone cottages. Some will be duplexes, townhomes. There will be some low-rise apartment buildings in the area. But the entire neighborhood, and for a little bit of reference here, this is west of 204th Street, south of Blue Sage Parkway. So southwest of Elkhorn High School, if you can picture the area. It is not. But the thing that's interesting about it is every single unit will be rental. And some people refer to this, and we've had a little bit of this in Omaha before, but you're seeing it in other markets. Some people refer to this as build to rent. But what's interesting about it is from the positive side, it gives people a lot of options, cool new neighborhood with a lot of different living units for people that want to rent.
Even though a lot of them look exactly the same with the same color paint.
The negative side to it is it's a sign that our real estate market's getting really expensive, and that's tough on people.
It's a lot of control over big, giant developers, and I understand that it's a trend across the country. And the other thing you're saying, too, is I wouldn't be surprised if they're all for rent, that conceivably you could take a 100-acre lot and not even subdivide it. And if you put in the streets and do all that kind of stuff, if you're not dedicating the streets to the city and stuff, which maybe they probably are. But basically, there are developments around the country, and some people are trying to do them here, where you're building smaller houses. Usually no basements, which is weird here. They can't have basements, but 1 or 2 stories, 1,200 to 2,000 square feet, maybe more, and they put a big pool, a big common area, and maybe they have it gated or something like that. So it's really a detached apartments is what we're talking about.
Yeah, essentially they're because they'll have the amenities that an apartment complex would have, with swimming pools, and of course now every development's got to have pickleball courts, or I don't know how you could possibly rent it.
And there's a lot of side effects. When our guest comes on, I want to hear from him. But what's interesting is after World War II, the mantra was everybody gets to own a house, and this is a great thing. And now I know that those percentages are getting very skewed the other way, where people are owning their houses.
And in some ways that's fine, but from the other perspective, I've always believed and still believe that society is better when a large percentage of the population has skin in the game, where they've actually taken their money from their hard work and dedication and put it into something. It ties them to society. It makes them invested, and so there is a little concern about that. But yes, definitely the percentage of renters vis-a-vis owners in Omaha, like it has been nationally, is going up.
Well, it makes it just, this is maybe for a few more shows, but it just makes the population more transient, and it's easier to pick up and leave if you don't have to sell your house and take care of everything there. And, when communities were formed hundreds of years ago, it was by necessity to protect themselves and everything else. And now it's kind of like, we can just go on the road, and COVID didn't help that either.
Just as long as the transient lifestyle people pick up and leave for another place inside the Omaha area, we want to keep them around here. Well, last week the Council Bluffs City Council approved a resolution to initiate bids on the West Broadway Extension Project. This has been funded by a $3.5 million grant from the Iowa West Foundation. It entails landscaping, irrigation, signage, improvement between 35th and 40th Streets. That's roughly the area around the newly constructed I-29, I-480 interchange and the western entrance to Council Bluffs. Couple thoughts there. Council Bluffs has done a great job overall with Broadway upgrades, and this is an extension of that. The other thing is, for a Grow Omaha nerd like me, that freeway interchange at 480 I-29 is absolutely amazing, and the thought of that being beautified and updated and cleaned up and made to look very, very pretty appeals to me.
I like how they label the interstate with I-29, I-80 and everything, so you can look down at the road and see where you're going.
Oh, you're talking about on the painted on the lanes. Oh, yeah, I do like that. I wish we did more of that on the Nebraska side. All right, one last story for you today. Union Pacific Railroad, proudly based here in Omaha for more than 150 years, has announced a 4-year partnership with U.S. Speed Skating. This is the organization dedicated to supporting speed skaters from local clubs all the way up to the Olympics. And UP will be an official sponsor. Now, the U.S. Speed Skating national team is based in Utah, and that's a state with long historical ties to Union Pacific and home to approximately 1,200 Union Pacific employees, and also the site of Promontory Point, where what happened?
It's the Golden Spike ceremony.
Very good. The Golden Spike ceremony, where he completed the Transcontinental Railroad.
Where General Grenville Dodge,
the
brother of N.P. Dodge, the founder of the company we affiliate with.
And N.P. Dodge was the guy who surveyed the entire route from Omaha to Promontory Point.
Transcontinental Railroad.
All right, that's your Omaha business history for the day and your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we're going to bring on our good friend Jerry Banks. He is a man who has made a great career for himself in the real estate industry, and now he's a local author with a book that is taking off nationally. And we're going to talk about Jerry and his new book, and you're going to enjoy this conversation. So stay with us. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here in the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics. That's the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. There are about 12 to 14 of them around the country, but the one we care about is located near Highways 50 and 370 in beautiful Papillion. And if you're looking for a place to get involved or get your kids involved or your grandkids involved, look no further than Cheer Athletics. They do such an outstanding job and have some very good competitive teams. Just go to CA Omaha, CA as in Cheer Athletics, CA Omaha, and you can find out more about that. Well, we're going to bring on Jerry Banks. He is a good friend of ours, friend of the show, a longtime real estate man here in Omaha and Council Bluffs. Jerry, welcome back to Grow Omaha.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And you are now an author, and I got to be very careful as I say the name of this book. It is called Eat, Stuff, and Smile, Surviving and Thriving on the Roller Coaster of Life. Actually, the book is called Eat, SH*T, and Smile.
Correct.
Tricky title.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's a book about the the roller coaster of life that I was on throughout my life, and I've been very blessed, but I've also had a lot of potholes, a lot of failures, and a lot of tough times in life. And I learned over time some key points that I think people need to utilize in their life to get through the potholes. And I wanted to write something that talked about the bad times in life, because too often people want to talk about all the good things that happen. But everybody has skeletons in their closet. Everybody has a roller coaster life. And we need to talk about that more. And we need to get through it. And we need to have some key elements to help us get through it. And I know that I've been through a lot of crap in my life. And I wanted to talk about it and expose it and encourage others to do the same thing.
Interesting. You grew up on the mean streets of Glenwood, Iowa, right?
Yes, sir. Born and raised in Glenwood.
Okay. So you've obviously gone through a lot of, when by the title of your book.
Right.
And how much of this to write the book was to help others, but it had to be a cathartic experience and soul searching.
Sure.
And tell us about that process.
Sure. Well, I've been writing as a hobby for probably 25 years, and always little small snippets about life and things that were on my mind. And about 3 years ago, I decided to put a collection of those stories, if you will, together. And as I started putting it together, and I was fortunate enough to meet in Phoenix with a publisher, and I was telling her what I was doing and told her my life story. And she said, you need to put this into a book and help people find ways to get through the roller coaster, get through the lows of the roller coaster. And so that started the process and a mission to do that. And also a part of the goal for me was I never had a relationship with any grandparents. And I wanted to leave a message for grandkids or great-grandkids, future generations that I may never meet, so that they could know what my message was for them.
That's very cool. Your parents kept you away from your grandparents?
No.
They passed away?
On my mother's side, they had both died when she was very young. And on my father's side, my grandfather died when I was 3 or 4. And my grandmother I saw maybe 5 times in my life, 6 times in my life. So I never really had a relationship.
And I know that you're a wonderful grandfather.
Thank you.
How many grandkids do you have?
7.
Yeah, that'll keep you busy.
And they're all here in Omaha.
And it's expensive at Christmas.
No kidding.
We're talking.
They all get books this year.
Yeah, we know what they're getting. Jerry Banks, author of this new book, Eat, S-H*T and Smile. Where did that saying come from?
Well, it comes out of a story. When I was 18 years old and I got my real estate license, an old codger real estate in Glenwood, Iowa, by the name of Burt Caldwell saw me one day, and he asked me if I wanted to know what the key to success in real estate was. I said, sure, Mr. Caldwell, lay it on me. And he said, your success in real estate depends on how much S-H*T you can eat every day and keep on smiling. And I thought it was funny at the time, but as life went on, I remembered it all the time. But I realized it wasn't just real estate, it was life. That you've got to be able to take your lumps and take your arrows and keep moving forward and keep smiling no matter what life throws at you.
Jerry, Trenton and I know a lot about your real estate career, but share with our listeners just kind of an overview of what you've done in the business.
Well, I got my license when I was 18, but I'd started really working. My mom and dad were in real estate and land development. I'd started earlier than that. I did my first flip when I was 15 years old. We didn't call it a flip at the time. I got my real estate license when I was 18. I never went to college. I started a brokerage company in Council Bluffs, Century 21 Banks Realty, when I was 24, and grew that over time to be the #1 market share in in Southwest Iowa. Then during that process, I also took a lot of courses on commercial real estate, the CCIM courses and some others that I went through all of those. And then along the line, got very lucky, and I met the chief financial officer for the Lozier family, lady by the name of Sherry Andrews, in 1992. And ended up going to work for the Lozier family, Lozier Enterprises, to start a real estate investment portfolio for them in the fall of '92. And I was there for just shy of 24 years doing investment acquisitions, management, development all over the United States. And in 2016, left under friendly terms and started the Jerry Banks Group doing real estate consulting and investments, and have been doing that since, and started a second company called B Squared with my good friend and partner Mark Boyer, and we've been doing a number of investments around the Midwest also.
And you build up equity that entire time.
Yes, sir.
Logier was kind enough that in addition to growing their portfolio, they helped you grow your portfolio.
Yeah, in
your blood, sweat, and tears.
I started in '92, but in year 2000, they sold me a portion of. Enabled me to begin investing into the portfolio to where I had a ownership interest in the Lozier portfolio, which is today called New Street Properties.
Now, Jerry, on your book, the foreword is written by Greg McDermott, coach of Creighton basketball.
Yes, sir.
How did Coach McDermott end up writing your foreword?
Well, I've been an avid Creighton basketball fan since they moved to the CHI Center, and I'm a season ticket holder. And I had met a number of the players through the years because I owned an acreage north of Glenwood at the time where it had great fishing ponds. And a lot of the coaches and players would come down and go fishing. And I got to know very well Mitch Ballack. And we're still very close friends. And I asked Mitch one day what he thought the odds were of me being able to get Coach to write a foreword for me. And he said, I don't know. Let's ask him. And so the three of us went to lunch and told Coach what I wanted the book to be about, and told him, we're both from small towns in Iowa here, Coach, and both share a lot of same philosophies. And thankfully for me, he agreed to write the foreword.
He was on board.
Yeah.
Well, the book is called Eat, Stuff, and Smile, Surviving and Thriving on the Roller Coaster of Life. Just came out on October 16th.
Yep.
How's it doing, and how can people order it?
I'm so blessed. You can find it on Amazon. Just enter in the search bar Jerry Banks, or enter the name of the book in the search bar. But it's been a top seller in hot new releases this first week, and I'm shocked and blessed, and it's doing very well.
Do you have a bookstore here where people can just go get it today?
No, not yet, but October 29th, I'm doing a book signing in Exarban Village at the Book Nook.
Oh, cool.
And that's taking place. And then I also have a website, jerrygbanks.com, where you can preview the book and also learn more about moi and order the book too.
Well, I can tell you, I know Jerry's story, and can tell you that the reading is very compelling. So check it out. Eat, S-H**T, and Smile. Jerry, thanks for joining us, and good luck with the book.
Thank you.
Jerry Banks, real estate man here in Omaha metro area, and now author. We're going to take our middle of the show break for the news, and when we come back, we'll have our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight. We're also going to tell you a little bit about the industrial, retail, and office markets here in Omaha. Don't miss it. Many other things coming. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid are with you. And this is Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics. Now, Dingman's has 4 metro area locations, soon to be 5, because Trenton Magid has found him a spot for a 5th, but he won't tell us where.
It's not my place to tell.
Well, as soon as we know, we'll tell you.
I can tell you they own a piece of land and part in a building that they're going to add on to.
Well, we'll say as soon as Dingman says it's okay for us to tell you, we'll tell you. But there's going to be a 5th Dingman's Collision Center, and it does not matter which one you choose. They all do a great job with your auto body and paint needs. And then they also have some mechanical services as well. All right, it's time for your commercial real estate development spotlight of the week, brought to you by Noddle Companies. They are the premier real estate developer in town, and they do more than just in town. They're all over the country. But here in town, Noddle Companies is famous for a lot of things. Do a lot of corporate headquarters buildings, like, you ever been by the HDR Global Headquarters in Exarban, Trenton?
Very nice.
Noddle Companies did it. Have you ever been by the Valmont Headquarters in Heartwood Preserve?
All the time.
Same deal. Noddle Companies did it. They're also famous for places and spaces. And one of those many places and spaces is Exarban Village. Another one is the Builders District in North Downtown.
That's really cool.
And that's where we are today. Omaha by Design's 2024 Laurel Awards. These recognize people that do development and construction and this sort of thing, for doing great open spaces and neighborhood redevelopments and things like that. The 2024 Laurel Awards by Omaha by Design were held this past Wednesday inside a Noddle Companies building inside the Builders
The
District.
Mass Timber Building, I bet?
Yeah, that's right. 1501 Mike Fahey. That building is constructed largely out of mass timbers. Beautiful building. If you go by there, there's a fitness club type business is opened on the ground level. They're still leasing it up because it's new speculative office space, but they've got tenants going in there. It is immediately south of Kiewit's global headquarters. That whole area is really coming together. During the news segment, we were talking about Creighton's plans, some known, some yet to be announced, for the area just west of that. Safe to say, in 5 to 10 years, as you walk the Builders District and the east to northeast part of the Creighton University campus, you might not recognize the place.
That's very cool. They've done a great job over there.
And that is your Noddle Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. You can learn more about Noddle by going to noddlecompanies.com. Well, Trenton and I, we are affiliated with NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate, outstanding full-service commercial real estate firm. Our office is located at 132nd and West Dodge Road. And our company produces a quarterly market report in which we talk about what's going on in the office, retail, and industrial sectors of real estate. And each quarter, we like to bring you up to speed with what's new in that regard. This quarter's report just came out looking back at the third quarter of 2024. And we can tell you that in the office market, the vacancy rate is 7.7%. That's really low. It's actually up from last quarter, but that's still really low when you consider, everything we hear about no one wants to work in the office and all this sort of thing. But that said, it's still a challenge. There was negative 277,000 square feet of absorption, meaning that there was less, there was 277,000 feet used, fewer feet used than the previous quarter. But there is 1.2 million square feet of office space under construction right now.
And that's good. And a lot of that's spoken for, that not a lot of spec office buildings being built.
And a lot of it's a Mutual of Omaha tower, probably.
Absolutely. And so going on space hunts, I can tell you for like 1,500 square feet to 3,000 square feet, there's not a lot to choose from. Those companies that are either starting out or expanding, I think it's more that 7.7% probably comes more from larger secondhand space where people hopefully have either gone home to work from or lighten their load, and are companies that are expanding and they left the space behind. But there's some opportunities because of that. And the one thing we got to worry about is what I call shadow space, and that is space that is technically leased and these companies are paying rent on it, but they're not utilizing it. People aren't coming to work, and that that can be detrimental. I don't know how many of these medical staffing companies up and down Dodge Street have large spaces, and some of those have figured out how to do a hybrid work from home, come into the office type of thing, and so we'll see how those trends continue.
Well, out of the 66 million square feet of retail space considered for our report, vacancy was down to 4.3%. There is not a lot of retail space out there.
Retail space is like the strongest ever it's been, and you think about it, it's like, well, what's going to happen to all these big boxes and things like that? When pickleball goes into a former department store, or you see things getting filled up. We just saw that a temporary space, Rush Market in Oakview Mall on the west side. They just announced that they're closing. But you get a lot of different uses for retail, just like taking office buildings and converting them into multifamily.
And finally, there is 108 million square feet of industrial space considered for the report. Only 3.3% of that is vacant, which is actually higher than last quarter. Trenton, we got 30 seconds for that one.
Well, interestingly enough, up on Highway 50 and by 370, There's a pickleball facility that just leased 44,000 square feet of high cube warehouse. Very nice, brand new warehouse. That trend it's crazy, but it's taking up space. But then there's a lot of manufacturers and distributors that are gobbling up that space.
And that is the market report for this quarter. More to come about 3 months from now, but it's time for our final break of the hour, and you know what that means. When we come back, it's the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. I'm looking at the list, and it's full. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid with you. It is time for our Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. Got a lot of things on the docket. Thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making all of this possible. If you are looking for a contractor for a building project, definitely give Perkins Kreitzer Construction a call. Their website is p-cconstruction.com, p-cconstruction.com. But whether you call them or look them up, they do a great job. Dave Kreitzer is in charge over there, and he's got a fantastic team with very deep experience in the construction industry and in this market. Now, this market is Omaha, but they also do work in Lincoln, Norfolk, Kearney, Sioux City area, into Iowa. They do a great job. Class A full-service contractor. Perkins Kreitzer Construction can help you with, if you're building an office building, a retail building, a church. They do build-outs for space. If you're a tenant going into an office space or a retail space, they can do those build-outs. They do it all, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction does a good job of doing it. p-cconstruction.com. All right, let's go. Whew, a lot of them. Pen and Daggers grand opening will be October 26th at La Vista City Center. That is a new bookstore. Prehistoric Putt opens November 1st in the old Nobby's building in Bel Air Plaza. Has 4 18-hole mini golf courses, arcade, virtual reality, laser tag, kitchen bar, and a hell of a lot of life-size fake dinosaurs.
Excellent. Have they replaced their food operator?
That I don't know, but he is referring to Izzy's Pizza, which was going to go there and decided just to kind of stay with their current setup of the downtown store and their very popular food truck. But we shall see. Reno's Karaoke, a private karaoke bar in Blackstone, will open a second location inside Blue Sky Bar and Patio in Regency Landing. That's 107th and Pacific Street. Unlike the Blackstone location, which is 21 and over only, the new venue will be open to all ages. Get ready for the long drive-through line because a new Chick-fil-A restaurant opened this past week or earlier this week at 156th and West Maple Road. It is located near Union Pizzeria and Katie Bar the Doors. The Chick-fil-A fans will probably swarming that place at this very moment.
Right next
In
to
fact,
Union Pizza.
There could be someone sitting in that drive-through line right now listening to Grow Omaha on KFAB.
True.
Corkscrew Wine and Cheese recently opened Alco Hall, a semi-enclosed shared space between its Rockbrook Village location and Public House, another business whiskey bar right there in Rockbrook Village. The outdoor patio includes a fire pit and swings, open during Corkscrew and Public House business hours. Swings while you're drinking.
Perfect for swingers.
Swings while you're drinking. Wingstop will soon host a grand opening and ribbon cutting for its newest location at 176th and Welch Plaza. That's basically right next to the Hy-Vee of 180th and Q. The Wing franchise has more than 1,600 locations nationwide, including 7 here in Omaha. Trenton, this is really close to our office. First Watch, the breakfast and lunch place, has opened its 7th Omaha area location in Heartwood Preserve. The actual address is 248 North 144th Street.
Yeah, Little King's on the other side and right across from the post office.
Jams in the Old Market at 1101 Harney is temporarily relocating just to the west into the former Mouth of the South location at 1111 Harney Street. This is so the actual Jam space can undergo an HVAC renovation. When that's complete in November, Jams goes back to the
There'll
original.
be a space available.
And there'll be a space, well, as far as we know, unless they have someone in mind for it.
True.
We don't know. Hey, we've got some closings. Hate to bring up bad news, but Varsity Sports Cafe and Roman Coin Pizza closing at 145th and F location. Other locations at 96th and Q and 36th and Highway 370 will remain open. Pulled Barbecue. Pulled Barbecue has closed
Pulled
its
out.
restaurant at Rockbrook Village, and it will now be only a food truck based at Trucks and Taps southwest of 108th and Q. That space has been a lot of restaurants in Rockbrook Village where Pulled Barbecue pulled out. Eddie Bauer has closed at One Pacific Place. They still do have their store at Nebraska Crossing in Gretna, which appears to be the only surviving Eddie Bauer in Nebraska.
Wow.
We'll see how long that one's there. And then Trenton mentioned earlier Rush Market closing its Oakview Mall store. Now we're hearing that the non-traditional furniture retailer is going to open somewhere else, but we can't find an announcement as to where that's going to
See
be.
if they pop back up.
Disturbingly, though, a lot of closings lately.
Yeah, and I think there'll be more to come. But I think that the restaurant industry, like the eternal optimist, like even during COVID and everything else, even though you hear about a lot of closings, another one pops back up. If there's a vent and there is and there's clean outs for the sewer grease trap, they're in.
Well, here's some more businesses that are opening because we're not going to end on a low note. NetPar, an indoor golf simulator and sports bar, has opened in Gretna at 178th and Oakmont Drive. That's basically near 180th and Highway 370. Now, NetPar does have a venue in the Capital District downtown. This one in Gretna is new. And then Board and Brush will open its first Nebraska location October 26th at 60th and Maple in Benson. And finally, Sage Grove Boutique will soon open in Countryside Village, actually relocating from their temporary spot elsewhere in Countryside Village. So we end on a high note, and that's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.